Continuing from the previous chapter. As the voice fell, a middle-aged man in his 50s, dressed in black, emerged from the car. With him were a man and a woman, both handsome and beautiful. Upon getting out of the car, the middle-aged man nervously exclaimed, "Stop digging, stop digging." In a short while, the man reached the gravesite, and Wang Baiman asked in confusion, "Mister, why are you here?" The man referred to as Mister, he responded with a serious expression, "Of course I'm here. If I hadn't come, you would have made a huge mistake. Who ordered you to dig?" "Mister," he asked angrily, as if they were digging up his family's ancestral tomb. Wang Baiman glanced at me instinctively and then explained to Mr. Li, "This is Mr. Li. Mr. Li, this is He Zhongtian, Master Zhuhe's closed-door disciple." Wang Baiman quickly introduced me. So, he was the disciple of the legendary Master Zhuhe, the mastermind behind the feng shui arrangements for Huang's villa. If Master Zhuhe and his master were so formidable, his disciples must be no ordinary individuals, since it was my first time doing something like this. It's better to be polite. I was about to greet him respectfully when, unexpectedly, before I could speak, "Mister," he looked down on me with disdain and said, "Wang Lao, are you kidding me? You let someone like this dig up the grave. Do you not know that digging up a grave is a big taboo? Never mind your high status. Even villagers wouldn't dare to dig up graves casually. Furthermore, this is the tomb my master personally selected, his greatest masterpiece. This kind of tomb, not just in the entire provincial capital but throughout Xingzhou city. Who could find such a good burial site?" Before I could answer those low-level questions, I quickly maintained an amiable tone and asked, "If you believe the feng shui here is fine, then please explain why 3 young people died in the Huang family within 5 years. 4 baby boys died young. And why did the 2 millennium evergreen trees wither? Moreover, why were countless bugs found after digging 3 feet into the ground?" Mister, his expression changed when I bombarded him with several questions. He seemed unable to explain them. I didn't wait for him to collect his thoughts and said calmly, "Mister, if you trust me, Liao, then let's proceed with digging up the grave. If you don't, then I will leave right now." Upon hearing my words, Wang Baiman's expression changed rapidly. However, after a few seconds, he made a decision. "Mr. Li, I indeed trust you. Proceed with digging according to Mr. Li's instructions." "Huang Lao." "Mister," he called anxiously, but before he could finish his sentence, Wang Baiman interrupted, "Enough, Mr. He. You don't need to say anything more. If you want to stay and watch, then keep quiet. If you don't want to watch, then leave. This is my Wang family's affair, mister." He anxiously slapped his thigh and said, "This is a disaster. I really don't know what this kid fed you with." Earlier, when they were in the car, Wang Baiman mentioned that he had sought the help of Mr. He, who had experience in studying the feng shui of yin houses and yang houses. Mister, he promised that it had nothing to do with feng shui, but after today's events, I think Wang Baiman won't believe it anymore. It was precisely because I had this confidence that I dared to say such things to Wang Baiman. Half an hour later, one of the diggers shouted, "Master, we've found the coffin." Wang Baiman and I walked over together and saw the coffin's lid. Over the years, the lid had started to corrode, but it had not completely rotted, likely due to good preservation conditions. Wang Baiman glanced at me, and I could see his eyes welling up. I turned to the diggers and ordered, "Continue digging until you can completely open the coffin." They looked at each other for a moment before lowering their heads to continue the work. A few minutes later, they put in a great effort and finally managed to pry open the coffin lid. At that moment, everyone gasped in shock. Inside the coffin were white bones, and next to them was a frog that was entirely red and had only 3 legs.